Today, we're going to make a value scale using our watercolors. So grab your worksheet and you'll see that I have only one value scale on here. You have three on your worksheet. You'll be doing three colors. So go ahead and tape your worksheet to your desk. Raise your desk at an angle so that we can allow gravity to help us out today. You'll need your water, you'll need a brush, preferably a medium to large round brush, your paint, and a paint palette. So grab your water, dip your brush in it, lay some water on your palette, and pick a color, any color that you like. Mix it in with your water, and you'll make a color. To make it very light, you'll need to add more water. So that's what I'm doing now. Suggest that you go light to dark because you can always add more. So go ahead and get you a light color. You can test it out on a scrap piece of paper to make sure. You're going to lay it into the top of your box on your paper. For this practice, go horizontal, right to left or left to right, but stay horizontal and drag your brush across the space. You will make a lake of water, almost like a puddle. This is called a bead. Put your brush back into the bead and pull that puddle of water along the space. And what you'll do is you'll lay down a nice flat color with no brush strokes. When you run out of water in the bead, go back to your paint palette, pick up the color again, and put it back into the puddle. You are just pulling the puddle down the space. Gravity is helping you out. Do not scrub. Don't go back up and touch the top. Go ahead and just keep on going. If you make a mistake, you can fix it if you're very fast, but do not go back up and touch the space. So when you get to the very end, draw off your brush and then use it as a little vacuum cleaner to suck up the puddle at the very bottom of the space. Then what you'll do is you'll mix some more paint into your puddle on your palette and you'll make a darker value. So go back into that second space after you get your color, and you can test it out on a scratch piece of paper if you want to, just to make sure it's a little bit darker. Go back in, put some more on your brush and lay it across the top. You're going to make another bead of water with paint. Stick your brush back into the bead and pull it horizontally across the space. Do not scrub. Go ahead, refill your brush with paint and water and stick it back into the bead. You are just pulling the paint in the puddle across the space. This is allowing you to have a very flat wash without having any kind of brush strokes. You're going to work your way down again, just like you did on the first space. If you need to go back up and touch up, you can, as long as it's just over just the very edge of what you're working. When you get to the bottom, you're going to dry off your brush again, and you'll use it like a little mini vacuum cleaner to wick up that paint puddle at the very bottom. There you go. That's how we'll do the rest of the spaces. So you'll go to the next one. You'll mix a darker color of paint and water, and you'll test it out on a scratch piece of paper. Make sure it's a little bit darker, and you'll start at the top again and drag your brush horizontal across the space. You'll put enough water and paint in there to make it a little bead of water, like a little puddle, and then you're going to drag that puddle down the page, pushing it down as you go so that the water is painting the space and not necessarily your brush. You are just guiding the puddle down the space. So go slow, don't scrub. If you make a mistake, keep going. Don't go back up and touch the top. If you notice your value is not dark enough, it's okay. We can let it dry, and after it dries, you can go back with another layer. Work your way to the bottom, then you'll dry off your brush and you'll suck up the area that needs to be lifted, just like that. But do not go back and touch it. Once you do it, leave it alone and your paint will dry nice and smooth. All right, going on to the next one. Add a little bit more paint, test it out on your scratch paper, and then go to the next space. Just like the others, you'll place the paint and lay it horizontally across the top. You'll put enough paint and water to make a bead. And what you'll do is you'll continue to guide this little bead of paint and water down your space, making a very flat wash as you go. You can go back and touch up if you need to, but I prefer you just keep on working. Lay it across, you get to the bottom, you'll dry off your paintbrush, and you'll suck up the excess, just like that. And then we'll go to the last space. You'll add even more paint to your paint puddle and get a darker value, test it out on your sheet, and then go ahead and lay it across the space. Just like the others, you'll work horizontally, you'll create a bead of paint and water, and you'll pull that bead and guide it down the space. So you're guiding it down the space. Something's up with my paper. There's something on there that is see-through that is allowing the paint to repel. It's all right. If that happens to you, just keep on going. You're just worried about a flat area color. You're guiding it down the space, pushing that puddle as you go to the bottom. Just like you did with the others, when you get to the very bottom, you'll dry off your paintbrush and you'll use it like a little mini vacuum cleaner to suck up the excess paint. There you go. You have now made a value scale. Continue on with the rest of your colors. Now, while you're working, let the top one dry. As you get down to the others, you'll be able to come back and add another layer.